Hi, Kanika. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks a lot for having me. Very glad to be here as well.
Beautiful. Me too. I'm excited to have you on the show. And you see, oftentimes, Kanika, I love to thank my guests for two main things. And I do this so often that I think it has now become my anthem. All right. So, firstly, Kanika, I want to thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Kanika, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it. But you see, Kanika, just recently, I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree is looking so beautiful. It's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes, but ripe mangoes. I was so excited that day. It was a beautiful moment for me that day. Now, here's my point: the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing person that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to say nope to you. You see, getting to read about you, I was excited about the things I saw, your insight, the impact it is having, your philosophies, it's amazing. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Elisha. But I would say that the same holds true for you as well. It is people like us who are trying to raise our own vibrations and raise the vibrations of people around us. So I think it goes both ways. I am in a lot of gratitude.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today, Kanika, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Kanika, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. Not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, Kanika, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Kanika on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So, these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very, very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Karika, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. You know, we are just so curious right now. We want to know how Kanika got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Kanika, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Elisha. Yeah, so I am an energy and consciousness coach. And my life wasn't always like that. Like, actually, if you look at me now, you probably just wouldn't guess that I'm an engineer, I'm an MBA professional by background. And I've been running in my past life, running a lot of multi-million dollar projects for major companies around the world. If you looked at Facebook, you would see all these pretty pictures and you would think that life was just hunky dory. I had been a very ambitious kid. I suppose that's what people around me wanted. That is what was looked up to. And I tried doing more and more of that. But internally, I was not okay. I was not happy. And I did not even 100% know why. Nobody around me seemed to be internally very happy. And there's a difference between short term happiness and long term happiness. short-term happiness, meaning what you can get when you just watch a movie. You get happy, or you have a favorite ice cream and you get happy with that. Long-term happiness being the sort of happiness that stays. So I was doing a lot of the short-term happy things, but I wasn't fully happy. I tried to do things like meditate or look after myself, do all the self-care stuff, do all the affirmations, do the positive mindset, but it just wasn't working. And then that time I was pregnant with my daughter. The pregnancy was actually going really well. One morning I woke up and I did not feel her movement. So time after that was when I had to give birth to my daughter. I had to do the last ceremonies and so on. And that was when I was living, but life, or I probably just collapsed. There was no running away now of how I felt inside. And I was just in so much shock, so much pain. Whatever pain I'd avoided before, now it was like right face to face with me. I was feeling ashamed, guilty, shocked, all sorts of things. Majorly very, very guilty, because how could I mess that up? I could not bring a daughter. I had her and I could not bring her to life. Like, I failed that. So there was a lot of guilt and shame with that. And I really had to look at myself. So that began my journey of inner work. And I explored a lot of modalities. Amongst them, one I explored was energy healing, which really helped me because it helped heal not just my physical pain, but it also helped heal my emotional pain, the pain that we store in our energetic bodies. And that's how I was able to work through it and realize that actually my daughter, I could connect with her. So that was a good blessing, a closure. I could find light in terms of life is not that limited. It is not. We tend to think of death as a very finite thing, and I'm not saying it's not, but there's life beyond death. There's connection beyond death, the meaning of life beyond that. So all of that evolved and my whole life direction shifted. As the deeper I did the work, I realized that I was getting a lot happier. And hence now my purpose is really to just spread more and more of that happiness with everyone as well, because we're not really taught how to let go of our inner trauma. And that's what I want to teach people, just to really be able to let go of their trauma so that they can actually feel not short-term happy, long-term.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's a great word. You see, when you come across a terrible situation and you overcome it, and now you put together all of the insight and the strategies that help you overcome that terrible situation, and then you make use of it, you use it therefore to help people. That tells me one single thing. It says that you are a good person and you've got a loving heart. I tell you, because I've known a series of people who understand that the situation they came out from, there are several others who are stuck in that situation and they are not even willing to help them get out of it like they did. So, listening to you speak now, how you went through all of the stuff you went through, and now you healed from everything. You mentioned the word explore. And now you're making use of your solution to help even others. That's amazing. And so sorry about your daughter. Okay, so the first question. How can parents use energy healing to stop passing down cycles of guilt, fear, or trauma to their kids? You got it? Or should I repeat it?
No, thank you. It's a beautiful question. It's just that we have learned pattern conditioning, and we tend to automatically pass it on. For example, if our parents have automatically responded, stopped us from certain things, we have to take a conscious effort and then stop ourselves from stopping our kids for the same thing, right? For me, especially motherhood or parenting is something which is very, very close to my heart. Because when I lost my daughter, my son was 2 at the time. And he helped me live, if I can be honest, because that grief was so profound for me that I wanted to check out of life. But then I would look at my 2-year-old son at that time, and I would see him playing, and he wanted his mom. Okay, I'm complaining I don't have a child. There's one child who really needs me right now. It was good in a way that I could not explain to him what I was crying about. It was really good to have him as a 2-year-old then. It was just perfect. So I've always thought of my daughter as the one who taught me about life beyond death, like the extension of life, I suppose. My son teaches me the joy of life. And so my first call there is for parents, rather than getting triggered by kids, think about what is it that your kids are offering you. Now, these are sacred contracts we have with our children. They've come into our lives. They're also offering us something that is really, really deep. Sometimes it hurts us inside, but we really need to understand that. So that's the outside perspective. We tend to think that I'm the parent, like I'm the elder one. I think probably just take a deep breath and just really try and understand. Yes, you're the one providing, but who is teaching whom? And you would understand that beyond what you see, they're teaching you a whole lot. So they help you evolve. Now, in terms of breaking the cycle, when you look at them this way and you understand why your child's really getting on your buttons, it's actually a very good way to understand what is the fault with you inside. Like, what do you need to heal inside you? What is that area that needs to call out? So, for example, I would really feel that my son was just seeking a lot of attention. And when I looked at it in my meditation, what I realized was that, oh, I'm actually seeking attention from the time when I was a child and I didn't get that attention. So I needed to fill that part. The more I healed myself as a mom, that would mean like healing, this attention seeking part. And then relations with my son, they got a lot better. Parenting and childhood are sort of two ends of the same coin. So whatever your child's doing, look at what is triggering you, why is it triggering you so much, and what is it that you need internally to do. Another example I'll give you that I used to feel with my son that it just did not matter what I did, but it always just felt that I was short for him as a mom. And so one day I'm like, okay, enough with this. What's really going on? And I sat down, looked at it in my energy healing space. And I realized that I was just carrying this guilt still from being a mom. I'd lost my daughter, so I was really thinking I'm a bad mom. And my child was reflecting that. Now my son's literally reflecting that, but it's my energy that he's reflecting. And I did nothing. I just worked on the whole space with my energy healing, healed myself where I held that wound for me that I'm a bad mom. I filled that space for me. I told myself that I'm a good mom. And I did that mentally, like did affirmations. I looked at the root belief that I had and I changed it to my new belief, which was like, I am a good mom because I am a good mom. That was just broken programming that was saying that I'm not a good mom. And then when I did that, I didn't even have to say anything to my son, have any conversation or so on. But that day I remember I did the work. I sort of forgot about it, went to pick him up from school. And he gave me the tightest hug. And he's like, oh, mom. Like, it was just such a sweet thing, the way he hugged me. And I'm like, okay, this is happening because I did the work behind it. And so we tend to blame our kids. We tend to blame the outside world for the lack that we experience, but really we just have to feel ourselves inside.
That's right. And thank you so very much for explaining it that way and sharing that story. That's a beautiful one. Okay, um, to bring this to an end, Kanika, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything we've discussed so far, or even ask you questions, how can that be possible?
So what I'd like to tell the audience is that it does not matter what you feel is going wrong or right in your life. Very often we tend to criticize ourselves, but just know that you are enough, you're full. And I know we hear that a lot, but I'll just explain that a little bit, is that you are fully okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you. Even the bits that you feel that they're faltering a little bit less, they're okay. Just go out, just feel them, just love yourself more, be compassionate, be kind towards yourself, and you'll see the world outside change. And if you want to reach out to me, I am Kanika. I can be reached at artoflifecenter.com. That's my website, Art of Life Center, CENTER. Or just Google for Kanika Energy Coach and you'll find me there. I do some live energy healing sessions where people can just go out, actually experiment. It's a live healing session and it's free. That's why I do it for people so they can actually come out, play with energy. Some of the things that I talked about here, where I looked and I cleared my energy and others are wondering, hey, how do I do that? So that's how you do it. You come into one of the free live sessions and I'll show you. I'll work with you how you do it in a group setting. And then you can have the changes in your life as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a great one. Okay, so that's gonna be the end of the show, Kanika. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Eliza. Thank you for having me. Really deeply.